AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. Presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You sure. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Cat Terrell in about 15 minutes from right now. Saints are starting rookie minicamp this weekend, so I want to welcome Cat onto the show, get kind of a preview of who and what we should be keeping an eye out for. That'll come up here in just a smidge. LSU spring football is over, and so we kind of enter this weird period in college football where it's affectionately known as talking season, where you're not going to have any more on-field stuff until teams report for fall camp. So you've got really all of May, all of June, and effectively half of July, because that's when media day starts, and that really is the acceleration of talking season. But the next 10 weeks of college football is really non-existent. It's one of the things, frankly, that the NFL has done exceptionally well, is they have found a way to make their sport a 12-month sport. Because the season obviously begins in late July with training camp, into the preseason, to the regular season, to the playoffs, which goes until February, which then goes straight into Senior Bowl, Combine, free agency, draft, rookie minicamps, OTAs. You get it. I mean, the NFL is a 12-month league. And college football has this long period where we just kind of talk about things. So, but it is actually a little bit of space where you don't have things developing or breaking news, where you can kind of take account of what we saw, learned in spring, and dissect it a little bit as we look ahead. And one thing maybe we didn't talk a lot about in spring is Whit Weeks, and oddly, and the value in him coming back. Because remember, I know I've mentioned this a ton. There were 3 players on both sides of the ball that this new staff prioritized. And it was on offense, Trez Green, Harlan Berry, Braylon Moore. They got them all back. And defensively, it was the 2 corners, DJ Pickett, PJ Woodland, and of course, Whit Weeks. And I think because last year was just so disappointing because of the injuries with Whit, where he only played in 8 games last season. And even that 8 comes with a little bit of an asterisk, right? Because at the end of the season when he came back, it was really just him starting to ramp up. Like the Western Kentucky game was just him getting out there on the field with his brothers so they could have that iconic moment in LSU where the 3 Weeks brothers were all on the field at the same time. And then in Oklahoma, he was only out there for a limited amount of snaps and didn't play in the bowl game. So really, you saw Whit in 8 games, but not really. For comparison, I mean, it was by far his least productive season of his career. But you think about 2023, and that was the worst defense in LSU history, that 2023 defense, as we recall. But one thing that became obvious as that season went along was that when 40 was on the field, they were better. And he played in 11 games and started 3 times that year. By the end of the season, it was like, put 40 on the field. And he had 49 tackles, half a sack, 3.5 TFLs, but he's productive when he was out there. And then you go into the sophomore year of 2024, and it was a kaboom. He was first team All-SEC. He was just incredible. 125 tackles in the 13 games. Incredibly, that season as a sophomore, Whit started 11 games. The first 2 games of the year in 2024, he wasn't starting. That's when Perkins was playing off-ball linebacker. Then ultimately they moved him out. But he was first team All-SEC in 2024 from the AP, the SEC, the coaches. And then going into 2025, he was a preseason All-American. So we're talking about a guy that maybe it's hard to remember because it's been a while since we've seen it with our eyes. When you remember just how much of an impactful difference maker Whit Weeks is and can be on the field when he's available. And I bring this up today because there's a piece from ESPN where they looked at one player from every team in the preseason top 25 that should be a candidate for a national award. And at LSU, you've always got options, and especially in this offense with Lane Kiffin now, you could talk about Sam Levitt at quarterback, or you could talk about any of the number of receivers for the Biletnikoff. You can certainly talk about DJ Pickett for the Thorpe. I mean, there's a lot of options, a lot of Ty Benefield for the Thorpe, a lot of ways you can go. But they mentioned Whit Weeks for the Butkus. And Andrea Adelson did the quick write-up, and she wrote, "There's little doubt that Weeks' decision to return was a huge win for new Tigers coach Lane Kiffin and defensive coordinator Blake Baker, who has his linchpin back. Sure to be preseason All-American, Weeks missed the bulk of last season with a broken ankle. In 2024, started 11 games with 125 tackles, 10 for loss and 3.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 6 quarterback hurries, and a pick. If Weeks stays healthy and puts up that type of production again, he will be up for every major Defensive Player of the Year award in the country." Pretty impactful reminder of what you have potentially there in the middle of your defense. And coming out of spring, we discussed kind of the question marks at defensive tackle. Because remember, the 5-man rotation we saw at tackle in spring was Malik Blockton, Don McKinley, Stephylan Green. Those are your 3 veterans. And then the 2 freshmen, early enrollees, and Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson. The most tackles in a season any of those guys have is 18. So you don't have really skins on the wall at defensive tackle. You got it with Prince Wilumon Mielen, but on the other side, Jordan Ross, former 5-star, but was a backup for 2 years at Tennessee. The next guy up at edge is probably Dylan Carpenter, who's basically been watching for 3 years. So there's a lot of questions about the defensive front. At linebacker, Whit Weeks was one of the nation's leaders in tackles in 2024. And TJ Daugherty led the SEC in tackles this past year, and Devon Keys was second. So you're looking at a linebacker room that has veteran experience, playmakers, productivity, all right there. And, when Whit in the spring was talking to reporters, he kind of talked about that's really his objective, is just to be ready to go in fall.
I mean, overall, it's been really good. Just trying to get healthy right now. I mean, been grinding in the weight room. I mean, I don't like not being out there with the guys, but the number one goal for me right now is just to get healthy, to be able to roll into fall camp.
He doesn't need spring. It's the thing we repeated over and over. Whit Weeks doesn't need spring. He needs to be healthy for Clemson. There was a lot of times they were out there running drills, and you saw Ty Benefield just watching. So guys like Jace Thomas and Fahim Delane got a lot of reps with the ones because it was like, hey, you and your beautiful ACLs, just go stand there and watch. We don't need you on the field right now. So that's absolutely the right thing. It's how they sort of used Whit throughout spring. Initially, he was just watching, just with his jersey on. And then we saw him doing some agility with the trainers off to the side. And then we saw him, limited doing the position group work. And then by the end of spring, he was doing a little no contact running around in 7-on-7s. So they were starting to work him up a little bit more, but there's no reason to risk. And it's something Lane Kiffin talked about at the end of spring as well.
Like I said, I'm excited to get Whit back out there and get him to work. It's been good, for other guys getting the opportunities, but he and Blake have a really good relationship, but we need him to get back out there and, help us get better offensively by going against him. So I'm really looking forward to that as we, as he gets fully cleared.
I'll have to wait until fall camp, but probably a guy we should be talking about more. Obviously, he wasn't on the field, so he didn't get as much conversation throughout spring for obvious reasons, but someone who we'll talk plenty about as we lead toward the start of the 2026 season. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Remember, First South Farm Credit, they're expert lenders, and they have offices in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, more than 40 offices. And they can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. So it doesn't matter if you want to buy 20 acres on the North Shore, if you want to buy that hunting property in Mississippi, 100 acres in Texas, 1,000 acres in Idaho. You want to go be a potato farmer, they can help you do that. If you do, maybe you don't. But if you do, they can help you do it. It's First South Farm Credit. Since 1916, 110 years, First South Farm Credit has helped Louisianians buy land. So if you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Log on to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Connect with a local loan officer that can help make your dream of land ownership a reality. firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Saints are hitting the practice field for rookie minicamp here this weekend. Kat Terrell will jump aboard next. Tell us what we should be looking for. Stick around. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
If you want to feel your best, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can open. I thought they were an ED clinic. They do ED treatments. Yes, that's part of what they do. Funny name, funny logo, attention grabbing. It works. You paid attention to it. But really what they do is help men live their optimal life. What does that mean? Maybe it's hormone replacement therapy. Literally every one of us, you, me, all of us, as we age, our bodies produce less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. Testosterone, growth hormone, and it happens at a different rate in everyone. But it's never just like a day and it's different. It's slow and gradual. So sometimes it's like the frog in the pot. You don't know till you're cooked. And we just get used to how we feel. And I'm telling you, there's a better way. You can regain your youthful energy, your waking energy. You can burn fat and build muscle and have great libido, and all of that stuff is possible. It's safe, it's affordable, it's Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com. Check them out, YourGoodwood.com.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalVR.com.
Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks in about 30 minutes. Remember, Auto Locks are live at LouisianaSports.net if you want to get them right now. Saints on the practice field, the rookies anyway, for rookie minicamp. Kat Terrell, good enough to join us, talk a little bit about it. How are you, Kat?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
Doing fantastic. How much stock do you put into rookie minicamp each year?
Honestly, not a lot. You know how it is this time of the year. They can't even wear pads, so you can't really learn a lot. But it is our first chance to meet with these rookies and kind of get a sense of their personalities and also talk to the assistant coaches about them. So for reporters, it's kind of super valuable weekend to just get insight about who these players are. But, you know, if a rookie is struggling this weekend or looks great, it's hard to put too much stock into it, knowing how much things could change when training camp opens.
Okay, since we haven't had a chance to speak to you since the draft, maybe just your 10,000-foot view, the recap. What was your takeaway from the draft in this rookie class?
With the draft itself, it's kind of funny. It's almost as if the Saints have maybe finally learned that it's okay to not trade all your draft assets and just use what you have. I know there are all those rumors flying around right before the draft that they were going to make trade up possibly, and I just couldn't understand why they would do that. And I thought the way they approached the draft this year was good. I thought that wide receiver was their biggest need, and they definitely filled that with 3 wide receivers. So, you know, as far as needs go, I think they addressed a number of them, but I know I've talked up wide receivers for months, so I'm very excited to see those guys in particular this weekend, and especially Jordan Tyson.
Jordan Tyson's going to wear 0. We learned that today. So that was Ugo Amadi, wasn't it? So
it was.
So he's not the first 0 in Saints history, but probably the most the wealthiest 0 in Saints history. Is that fair?
He might be. They're only allowed to wear 0 for the past couple of years, right? It hasn't been very long at all. So when Tyson picked that, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I would not have guessed that was the number he was going to go with.
It was his college number, so I guess that makes sense, and he gets to snag that. There was the short video of Tyson and Tyler Shuck meeting. Give me a sense, getting to know Tyler Shuck, I guess, as little as you have over the last year, how you think he handles right now being the guy with this rookie class coming in.
I really think that he has taken a great approach to this role ever since he got here. And, I know all my answers at the moment are super positive, right? The approach to draft, right?
Yes.
Tyler Shuck's doing well. Maybe that just underscores kind of how everyone is thinking right now. It's that time of the year where there's hope. But I wrote this last summer. I talked to Shuck for an interview I think we sat down for 2 hours and just talked for a long time. And, he at that point had already made a lot of strides towards becoming a good teammate, working out with the guys, things like that. And I think that he understands what this role takes. It's not just the role specifically on the field, but in New Orleans specifically, you need to be part of the community. If anyone has been paying attention, he has been at every single event.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm like, are you going to sleep at some point? And so all of that's great, and I think that it's the right approach. I think that, now he has a chance to have his teammates look at him as the guy, when last year that was different. But at the end of the day, he does have to prove it on the field. And I think he knows and has said he only played a few games last year. So we really won't know for a long time if he's going to be able to translate this thing long term. But I think right now in the offseason, you really can't ask for more from him.
Cat Terrell's our guest, ESPN.com at @Cat_Terrell. Aside from Jordan Tyson, who's a rookie this weekend, for whatever reason, maybe you're most interested to see?
Oh, that's a good question. It might be boring to say receiver again. I think that the 3 receivers are pretty uniquely different. And so, Barron Brown is going to be more of a kick returner, but or at least right now he is. So I'm interested to see that. But maybe Lorenzo Styles. I know some of these guys developmental. Sorry, that's not a receiver, but I'm also excited to see him. I was going to say Bryce Lance, but maybe Lorenzo Styles. I'm kind of intrigued. I know it's the other Styles brother, but I want to see what he can do on the field.
I mean, when you run a sub 4.3, you're going to get people's attention, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Everyone's going to be talking about that for several weeks when we have nothing to talk about until OTAs really start. But that's exciting. It's exciting time of year. Everyone's kind of intrigued by the unknown, right?
Is he a guy that you think or maybe that they target as the Alontae Taylor role, or are they thinking of him more as a safety?
I think that they said that that's possible. I mean, I don't know that, that they were specifically going in saying, this is the guy that's going to replace Alontae Taylor. I think ideally they may have wanted to do that earlier in the draft. But, yeah, I do think he's a potential guy for that role. I mean, that's going to be a fun role this summer to see what they do. Do they use Julian Blackman in the star role? That and receiver are probably the 2 competitions I want to see the most. And receiver, to keep harping on it, I just find it interesting because it went from a room where there was no one left to a room where now they're going to have to actually make some cuts.
I know.
And that's kind of not fun. That's a weird way it's a weird way for me to say it, but it's a fun competition to watch.
Sure. UDFAs, there's always somebody who makes the team, right? Kat, you may know this. Is Has there ever been a year where UDFA didn't make that initial 53? Is there anyone in that group that you think is positioned to have a real shot to make the team?
That was a good first question. I don't know the answer to that. There has to be a year. Sometimes it can be almost a bad thing if too many UDFAs make the roster. It kind of tells you there might be something wrong. I think in 2015, I think that was their record for amount of not only UDAs making the roster, but having very big roles. This is kind of a smaller class. I think that's too early to say. I don't know. I'd have to think about it by position. What kind of has the most room available for someone to probably step in. I think running back would be really difficult to make noise there unless something happens with Kamara. I don't know. Let me get back to you on that answer once I see them this weekend. But I do think that one or two at least will make this roster. But it might not be the UDFAs that are on the roster right now.
Okay.
Might be guys that pick up later.
Do you think, since you mentioned it, do you think anything happens with Kamara?
I wonder if I know he has said into his interview with Teron Armstead, he is acting like he's going to be on the team. And I do still wonder if they're going to approach him for some sort of pay cut. And so, it's all well and good that he wants to be on the team. That's a very positive sign. But I do think that doesn't necessarily mean that's the be-all, end-all of it. So I kind of want to see what happens the next few weeks in terms of if there's anything changing with his contract, because that's really going to determine it, right? Do the Saints want to currently pay these two running backs upwards of $10 million a year, or do they see something different from Kamara and a different role? I've been told, I think, kind of all spring that there wasn't really any rush with this timeline with Kamara. So it certainly doesn't sound like he's going to retire, but I do wonder if anything happens contractually in the next few weeks that could change anything. And he also doesn't go to OTAs, so I wouldn't expect that to change this year either. So I guess we might not find out for a while.
Kat, last thing for you. With rookie minicamp, they always bring in veteran tryout players, right? Like JT Woods is a guy we talked about. Younghoe Koo is going to be there. Are these guys actually is this a tryout to make the team, or is this just the Saints evaluating guys so they sort of have an updated scouting report on them?
I think it's both. I think sometimes a few guys can come out of this weekend, get a tryout, and really it's a tryout for the tryout, right? So they get this tryout, they make the team, and they have to go replicate that all over again during OTAs, minicamp, and training camp. And as injuries happen, sometimes those guys that make the team in May might not have a job in a few weeks because they need another position. So it's a combination of both. The kicker is interesting, I think, actually, this weekend, because obviously they want to bring in some competition for Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith is a great story, but he had an inconsistent training camp last year. So I don't think they're just handing him the job. So that could be kind of interesting to watch, not only now to see if anything comes out of these tryouts, but whether or not someone pushes him in camp next year. I'm sorry, I've been out of town all week, so I'm clearly tired. Next month from now?
Where were you?
Well, I went to Chicago for a few days, and then I was in Bristol at ESPN headquarters. So I got home pretty late last night. And then, I was asked if I wanted to come on with you today, and I was like, of course I would come on with Matt. So, you're just going to have to forgive my brain lapses until I get a lot more sleep.
You're doing awesome. What did you think of the Derby?
I thought it was fun. I lost $50 with my bet, but I love the story.
It's the best way to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's all in good fun, and I really liked the horse. I liked Golden Tempo. I just didn't think he was good enough to beat some of those other horses, and I thought it was great. It's unfortunate he's skipping the Preakness, but, love to see some history made, the first female trainer to win the Derby. So, Preakness, a little less exciting now, but the Belmont will be fun in a few weeks if some of these horses come back and run in it.
Kat, the closest I get to horse racing is when I go to Jazz Fest every year. I mean, I just, I don't know anything about it. But I know it's a passion play for you, so that's awesome to get your perspective. And I love whiskey as well, as do you, and that's always a thing in Kentucky with the Derby. So we have that synergy as well. See?
Exactly. We both love Weller.
Yeah, we do.
And really any type of good bourbon, and that does go hand in hand with the Derby.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get back up to the Derby one day and get to watch it in person again. I've been lucky enough to do that a few times.
Would you recommend, grandstand or infield?
The grandstand, definitely. I don't think you can see that much from the infield.
It's kind of
a big party, though.
It's a big party, though, right? That's what I'm saying. Do you want the party or do you want the suit and the hat and the grandstand and the
You want
stuff?
the whole experience.
Okay.
You want the hat and the grandstand views and everything.
Okay.
I actually have watched the race itself one of those times from the infield. The 4 times I've gone, I got to cover it, which is amazing. And so we watched, I think, Justify in 2018 from the infield so we could very quickly go to interviews. And not to brag or anything, but I did turn around and look at the person next to me and say, he's going to win the Triple Crown. And they thought I was crazy. And he did.
There it is. Noted horse aficionado, which is actually true. Kat, she knows her stuff at horse race. So I figured we would dismount. How about that? Horse pun.
There you go.
We would dismount here with a little Derby talk. Kat, we appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
Anytime.
All right, be well. It's after further review. Hey, we're right about South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. You want to drive to the Derby next year, you can do so in your Volkswagen because you're going to get great gas mileage. It's going to be fun to drive, and you're going to be one of the safest vehicles on the road. SouthPointVW.com is Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. So shop them online at SouthPointVW.com. You'll see their entire inventory. If it's on the lot, it's online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. New certified pre-owned. Photos of the actual vehicles that are there on the lot, not like stock photos from a magazine, like photos of the actual vehicle there in front of South Point Volkswagen, so you can see the exact car that you're trying to buy. Go see my friends at South Point Volkswagen. Make a deal. Get in a new car. Graduation's just about here. If you're buying that car for the graduate in your life, or if you're the graduate, you need new wheels. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, Jimmy's here for Auto Locks in about 15 minutes. Jay Johnson with a few injury updates. We'll get to that next. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done with offices all over the state of Louisiana. So no matter where you might be listening or watching in Louisiana, there's a Gordon McKernan Injury Attorney's office near you with Gordon and his team ready to help. But you could always start online. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. But if you would rather talk to someone, dial the 8s. 888-8888, 888-8888. A lot of times, yes, we talk about car wrecks and big truck wrecks, but Gordon and his team handle all different types of accidents. So if you've been injured in an accident, all different types of injuries, be it at the workplace, workers' comp, offshore, maritime, so many different types of cases they handle. So log on to learn more at getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Relative to Kaysen, he threw a bullpen yesterday. Bullpen went great, but now it's more of like, how does his body and arm respond to the intensity of the throwing that he did, for 20 to 25 pitches, and then deciding, we're in the clear and feel good about it, and getting him out there or not.
Jay Johnson on Off the Bench here on Thursday morning with Hester and Flynn giving the update on Kaysen Evans that we followed. Evans was scratched from his start a couple of weeks ago. About 20 minutes before first pitch, and did miss his start last week, and so we're hopeful that the bullpen went well and the recovery from the bullpen went well. Jay Johnson, when he met with reporters, did also talk about how they might use Casey Evans if he's able to go in some capacity against Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I'm not even going to go there until we feel like he's cleared and okay to pitch. We're hopeful that that's the case, but I'm not doing it unless he's okay to pitch. There's nothing wrong with him from a structure standpoint, which is great because normally when you just look at all, you find something on all pitchers. But I'm optimistic, but that's coming up here today, early today. And then it's not even about today. It's how does he feel tomorrow?
Yeah. So Tigers hit the road, and they're heading to Athens, 3-game series. Game 1, 5 o'clock Central on Friday. Remember, 6 Eastern, 5 Central is first pitch. So we'll be on air when that game starts on Friday, Game 1. We know that it'll be Schmidt Game 1, Paz Game 2. Game 3 is TBD. If Evans is available in some capacity, what does that look like? Out of the bullpen, an opener maybe in Game 3. We'll see how the weekend goes, but hopefully today's was a big day, right? He threw the bullpen yesterday. How does he respond when we get that answer? And if we see Evans, it'd be a huge boost as LSU hits the road to take on Georgia. Chris Stanfield is questionable. Jay said that, and also gave an update on Omar Cerna, who missed the game on Tuesday with that back injury.
Yeah, I've got a doctor's appointment today. I've probably said this before with somebody when you've asked me about an injury. It's literally like, what can you tolerate? And for the last 7 days, he tolerated it pretty good, slugging like 3,000 or whatever. And he just didn't feel great yesterday. So we would have played him if he felt great. But I feel like we have a good plan to give him the best chance to be a part of it this weekend. And I know the competitor that he is, he wants to play. Trust me, if he's healthy, he's playing.
You need him. Obviously, we've talked about it plenty, but Georgia leads the SEC in virtually every statistical category: batting average, home runs, hits. They're an awesome offensive team playing in a hitter's park. You're going to have to go score runs this weekend. You're a better offensive team when Omar Cerna is in the lineup. They've obviously been a great offensive team with Cade Arambidi as well, who has really hit his stride. He's hitting over 420 since that Easter Sunday game against Tennessee. And when reporters met with Cade Arambidi, they asked him about the moment. Was there a moment where it clicked for him?
I texted him after a game one night and was like, hey, coach, I'm kind of feeling this or that in the box. Like, can we work tomorrow morning? And so we met, I think it was like 9 or 10:30 in the morning. And, we got in the cage, did some like drills and stuff, then got out on the field. And literally it was like 8 or 9 swings. And just the field just clicked. And then right after that is when I got a little banged up. And then when I was healthy again, it was the Tennessee weekend. And it's like since then, it's just been like I haven't even really been like thinking about anything in the box. It's just been just competing. And so I think that was like a key moment that was that just kind of helped get me over that edge.
There's never been a doubt about the physical ability. A lot of it is like you hear guys talk about the game slowing down. Clearly it's there. It took a season and a half for Cade Arambidi, but he is very much living up to the massive, immense potential that he had when he showed up on campus. Tigers at Georgia, 3-game series starting Friday, 5 o'clock Central for Game 1. All right, our Thursday shows are always brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, decisioncriticalbr.com. As I always say, it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Remember also, like, if you're someone who gives yourself injections, maybe it's GLP-1s or hormone therapy or whatever it may be, peptides, and you don't like giving yourself injections, they will administer your injections in clinic for you. There's so many different ways that their expertly trained nurses can care for you. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com. I love this idea. If you missed it earlier today, Tiger Bait, Mike Scarborough, was the first to report it, that LSU has added Divine Ugochukwu from Michigan State, guard, and Rob via the text line said, we were trying to do a little, look, there's Marcio Santos, there's Salu Nyang, now there's Divine Ugochukwu. These are these really strange international polysyllabic names that aren't necessarily easy to say. And we like from time to time to have a little fun with drops like Todd Peterson.
Ted Peterson.
Latavius Murray.
Murray, present.
Justice Williams. What else you sitting on over there?
Cartwright?
You kept Cartwright and not Justice?
Yeah. Well, okay. It was a show decision that we were going to get rid of Justice because it was a lot.
It was a lot.
And I mean, Cartwright.
Yeah.
Cartwright?
At the time, still came on with us from time to time.
What do we got? Anything else over there?
I think that's all of our. I'd have to look. Hold on.
Well, we're going to sample a new one.
Oh, here we go.
Charlie bit me.
We got to work that.
Smith.
We got to work that
I gotta
in more
remember.
for him.
Yeah, we even talked
really
about him today. Yeah,
I know.
Charlie Smith. Yeah, Charlie bit me.
Oh, and then of course, crowd favorite here.
Mm-hmm. So good. That's when Wilson Alexander comes on the show.
Mason Taylor!
The first time Wilson Alexander was on the show, he did not like that very much. And he later, like literally the first time he was ever on the show, we did that. It was like it was his introduction to Baton Rouge. And he was not super fond of it. And he texted me later, he's like later that he was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I reacted that way. Like, that's funny. Keep doing whatever. And so Wilson and I are great friends. Like, we've gotten along splendidly. I'm so excited for him going on 3. But that was funny. Like, he initially was not a fan of the drop.
That's funny.
Anyway, so Rob Neely, hat tip. Maybe hat tip. Matt, speaking of Divine Ugochukwu, maybe sample Blue Suede's Hooked on a Feeling, of course, known for the Uga Shaka. And so let's give it a go. LSU has added Michigan State guard Divine Ugochukwu.
Uga Shaka.
That's not bad.
I kind of like it.
So do we add the extra Ugas, though?
I think it might be too long. I mean, that's already 1 second. If we get into 3 more Ugas, you might be 3-second drop.
Wilson is a long drop.
Yeah, I guess it is. Wilson's 2 seconds. The rest of them are just so quick, though.
Todd Peterson.
That's 1 second. Murray's not even a full second.
Yeah, I know. Divine Ugochukwu.
I also think it might.
I want to hear it with the Ugas. I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it tonight. It's like you got like when you're buying clothes, you gotta try it on. Like, let me see it on. Let me try it on. You have it? You have the full thing, or did you just dub the Uga?
I just dubbed the Uga, and then I edited it, so I got rid of the other ones.
All right, I want to try it. Do it. Let's see if you can do it quickly, because I want to try it before we're off air today. All right, it's after further review. There was something else. Oh, I am you know what else, too? I'm getting out of here after Jimmy's here for Auto Locks. Headed to LSU indoor. Tonight is the FMOL Health Our Lady of the Lake, a big bash, awesome fundraiser for the foundation, benefiting the foundation, the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. Should be a great night, man. But I didn't even know that it's a black tie event. So it's a black tie and sneakers. So I've been to this event before, but it wasn't a black tie when I went several years ago. But excited to go tonight. If you're not familiar, I mean, obviously Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital is just an incredible resource, not only for the Baton Rouge community, but for the region. And this is just a great fundraiser, and excited to get over there tonight. So as soon as I get off air, man, I'm throwing on the old monkey suit and heading on over to Football Ops to go to this fundraiser. But excited to be there, and hopefully it's a great night and raise a ton of money for Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital and the foundation. Okay, here we go. Before we get to Auto Locks, so LSU today added Michigan State transfer guard Divine Ugochukwu. I just need 2 Ugas.
All right, hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. LSU, news today, Will Wade has added another player via the transfer portal. This time it's Michigan State guard Divine Ugochukwu. All right, what do we think?
It's better than I thought it was going to be. I thought the ending on the Uga might just be too abrupt, but it's better than I thought it was going to be.
Hey, when it comes to mastery of stupid drops, there's a reason I sit in this chair, okay? I got to feel. Paul, what do you think? The Uga's on the end or no?
I kind of like them without them.
Okay. Oh. You always got to be difficult, huh, Paul? Got to be so difficult. Turn off your mic, Paul. I'm just kidding. Love you, Paul. All right, maybe we'll leave it up to the people. Or maybe we'll just feel it and try. We'll see.
Well, I'll put them both on the button bar, and we'll workshop it. How about that?
Fair enough. Okay. All right, it's after further review. Final break. Come back. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. Our guy is hot. Don't let him get. No, let him get. Please let him get hot. We need him to get hot. It's AFR. Stay here.
AFR.
Rev Fiber. Rev Fiber. RevFiber.com. RevFiber.com. Hey, man, if you are, if you're not pleased with your cable provider, and let's be honest, man, there's a 3-letter cable provider that begins with a C that lots of people have problems with them. I did for a lot of years. And thank God Rev laid fiber in my neighborhood. And as soon as they did, boom, we switched. I mean, immediately. They weren't even done. Their crews weren't even done digging, like laying the fiber in our neighborhood. We had already called and switched. Faster, more reliable internet service, better pricing, by the way, as well, and great service when you deal with Rev. A local company, you're never routed to a call center overseas. They're here. 90 years in our local communities. REV. For your home or for your business, RevFiber.com, RevFiber.com. If you're looking for work, you need to call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors. 318-547-1000, 318-547-1000, 318-547-1000. Just saw earlier today, social media posts, River Parish Contractors, they are hiring pipe fitters, boiler makers, crane operators. That's in addition to pipe cutters and welders and pipe fitters. They need everybody. And they will offer, look, you want to work overtime? Come work as much overtime as you want at River Parish Contractors. Man, awesome, awesome people. Day shift, night shift. And man, they just make their clients happy. Shout out to Michael Mason, one of the clients over at River Parish Contractors. Big fan of the show. Appreciate you for being there. Appreciate your trust in River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com, River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com, or call Big Jake, 318-547-1000.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Don't you let him get hot. Don't you let him get hot. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. Shooting bullets out there. Otter, what's good?
Oh, man, I'm out at the park, man. U High 5, Catholic New Iberia 2 in the last inning. So the first of 3 in a rematch of the state finals last year. So come and see some of my boys' kids playing out here. So anyway, but as you pull up, so I don't have my notes in front of me.
All right.
Pull up as you pull up my picks. I'll start off with the Lakers game, and rarely do I go back to the well right after we hit one, like the Lakers team total under 99.5. It's moved down to 97.5, but I just like the way OKC. I talked about this 2 nights ago, how that's the strength of their team. Their defense is all about SGA and MVP, but man, they're so good defensively, so disciplined. They know everything the other team's running. They're well schooled, and well scouted, and so I'm going to go back to the well, and because they gave up less than 20 points the third and fourth quarter after they locked down. So I'm going to go under Lakers team total under 97.5. Keep in mind, Matt, a same thing. If this thing is like a 30-point spread, man, be ready to try and middle that thing and maybe take an over 94.5, 92.5, 93.5, something like that. Because again, in blowouts, points will come a lot more freely.
Okay, all right. Team total under with the Lakers. You got an NHL pick with the Flyers.
All right, that's Colucci.
Okay.
Give me the horn, boy. Give
me
the horn.
Load him up. All right.
So the Carolina and Colorado have started out both 6-0 in the postseason. The Oilers, the last time a team is going 9-0, that's a record. So, but kind of an exhale spot. And I could see Colucci plus money at home. Hey, why not? Take a swing, like plus $1.40, something like that, with the Penguins at home. So Pittsburgh, I'm kind of speaking for him a little bit on that one. But, yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Talking to him and Randy McKay the last couple of nights.
All right, the two baseball plays, both are underway. You gave the Phillies on the money line. The A's have a 4-run top of the first. So if you wanted to get in on the Phillies,
what is that right now?
It's
what is
plus,
that price? $350?
Plus 359.
I'm new at this. I'm sorry, but anyway, yeah, take a shot. Take a shot at it.
Already done. Already done.
Absolutely, man. Listen,
1 minute remaining.
Bullpen and go for it, just like we did the other night. It came up a little bit short.
Yeah.
The Marlins down in Baltimore, but no, the Phillies are starting to click in. That lineup's very talented, so we're going to take the Phillies in game right now. I'm going to get some more on that one.
By the way, you also had the Marlins on the money line. They're up 2-0, top second. So if you missed that, you got
to lay off of that one.
You could get on the run line, which is 2.5 minus $1.06. What do you think about that?
That's no, nothing. I'll be interested in right now. Laying 2.5 at home without getting that last at bat. So
all right,
we'll stick with that.
All right.
And we squeezed in another one today.
What you got?
We gave it out on the show.
All right.
Charlie tried to bring me up against the break. But the Washington Nationals went over again today.
Let's go. Boo, boo, boo. All right. Rufino's tomorrow on a Friday. Thank you, Otter. Like a week. All right, we got to go. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Getting on down the road. Remember, Mother's Day Sunday Supper Club. Mother's Day Sunday Supper Club. If you do not yet have reservations for Mom, Supper Club, which is not open on Sundays, they are opening for Mother's Day for lunch. Not for dinner, for lunch. 11 to 3. They have full menu, but limited seating. When I checked with Chef Layton yesterday, they still had a few reservations left. It's worth a shot. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com, or call over to the restaurant. They are, again, open Mother's Day. So you want to treat Mom? Lobster, stone crabs, an amazing steak, the beautiful Ora King salmon, their Chilean sea bass, which, Mom loves sea bass. This is the best piece of fish she'll ever eat. Go to Supper Club for Mother's Day. Treat Mom. The Supper Club. Check them out online. Book your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com.